it amazed me to hear people excited over 10,000. I don't even think that 10,000 can cook, a pot of soup under the circumstances. But there are people who are excited, but and I told myself that Nigeria as a nation has a long way to go. All roads this morning lead to the Inec, office, and will occupy Inec office, invite international media, invite everybody, so that this will of the people, the decision of the people going forward for the next 4 years must stand. If the people collectively decided to take a decision that this is who leads us, it is the decision of the people, and the decision of the people must constantly stand. So I want to thank you for keeping faith with us. Let me thank all of you who have mounted guard on social media, who have mounted guard for the international community, who have consistently shared our posts, who are waiting for, update. It's a long walk to freedom. It is not yet Uhuru. 8 years ago, thereabout, I did exactly the same thing for Osageze Yamu, because at that time we were convinced that he won, that election, and we were on the street to defend, democracy. For me, I don't care about the individual. I care about the process. We don't move from answer to question. We move from question to answer. Democracy is a process. Who governs you is a process. The people first of all go and vote in their individual unit. Those unit results become the authentic results. Unfortunately, the unit result is the one that was uploaded by INEC itself. So there are no voting that take place at the collation center. It is rightly called collation center. What you do at collation center is that you bring the result from the unit to the collation centers. The collation centers are an aggregate of the result that were obtained at the unit level. So what it means is that if you have already uploaded almost all the results to about 97%, what it means that anybody who is monitoring the INEC can easily calculate and just know who is the winner of this election by what INEC themselves, by what INEC themselves posted on their IREV portal. So those who are gloating, I wish you all the best. Please keep gloating, keep mocking, please keep laughing. It's okay. Nigeria belongs to all of us. We are here together. We were here together when petrol was 87 naira. We were here together when petrol was 97 naira. We were here together when petrol moved to 150 naira. We are here together. Petrol moved to 250. We are here together. We are going to be here together. If it's good for everybody. There is no road that anybody will build that is PDP road. There is no road that anybody will build that is APC road. There is no PDP police. There is no APC police. There is no PDP army. There is no APC army. Thank you. I'm sure that a couple of people may have been waiting for this update. For some of us, we're not unfamiliar to this terrain. Because we have often maintained that a threat to justice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Again, let me thank those who have kept vigilant. Thank you very much. I hope I didn't have to, wake you up. The beauty of this live broadcast is that even the opposition themselves, there are many of them who have a good conscience and who are good sportsmen, who realize that if you lose squarely, you have lost squarely. All right. And there are a couple of them who follow up constantly on our updates. So when you have your opposition on your own update watching you, what it simply means is that he also wants to know, quote unquote, maybe what your plans are. So good morning. I know it's a Sunday morning. Thank you, Pastor Kelvin. Thank you. Good morning to Ima, Egbedion, Mavis, Lion. Good morning. Thank you for keeping vigil. I'm sure that a whole lot of you have been waiting. I'm sure many people have not slept the way I have not also slept. It's a long walk to freedom. That's what it's looking like. It's looking like it's going to be a long walk to freedom. We have monitored this election. We have consistently monitored this election. I voted in Unit 9, Upholding Primary School in Ekpoma. and by the results that INEC themselves posted. All right, because if we want a democracy, let's have a democracy. If we don't want a democracy, let's decide that we don't have a democracy. By the results that INEC themselves collated on their own IREV, we had compiled all the results and we're already jubilating. We're already jubilating, excited. I mean, and then we got to the collation centers, so that we had just concluded that all the things that will happen is the fact that you will bring results from, that will happen at the unit, and then you take them to the collation centers, and then we begin to collate. And we had even begun to, collate all of a sudden. I tell people, it's like the candidate of our party just said, now, Dr. Ashwe Godalo, it's not about him. It's not about him. I hear people say, oh, Dr. Ashwe should go back to Lagos. Dr. Ashwe should do this. Dr. Ashwe, that's fine. It's not about him. This is how we got to where we got to as a country. All right? We got to like this because of people who don't see beyond their nose, because of people who don't have a vision. There's nobody who buys petrol cheaper today. Nobody. I'm soon going to, I'm going to set up, and I'm going to be on my way, to Benin City, in a bit, because all roads lead to Ramat Park. All roads lead to Ramat Park. If there's anything that is even giving me a reservation, it's because maybe I'm thinking about my children. I was talking to my friend just a few minutes ago. I said, this is a cause that is worth dying for, because you must protect the future. The tree of nationhood is watered by the blood of martyrs, and we cannot just sit down and have this thing happen. My problem is not that somebody emerged, a winner. My problem is that in a free, fair contest, I'm a sportsman. I play good table tennis. If you win me fair and square, I will concede. But the preponderance of opinion, a couple of thousands of people cannot go under the sun and in the rain and then put their thumb and decide that this is the direction that they want to go. And a few persons, because if you follow up social media, even when the APC is saying they have won this election, they are not jubilating. Because deep down they are conscious. Because, at about 8 o'clock yesterday, one of them, my very good friend, called me and said, what are they hearing? What am I hearing? I'm hearing that by the result I'm telling you what, an APC person said, by the result of INEC, they say, by the result that INEC themselves collated, they say, you guys are leading. And we went to the collation centers in jubilation. I have a couple of my friends who branched my house on their way to Emuhi, and they had powder, all over them, excited by the result that they voted by the result that they got from, from Emuhi, excited, about it. I don't want to join with issues with, some people who are, talking, because like I said, I'm a self-sufficient man. This is my first time I'm participating in politics. I have never depended on politics for survival, no matter what it is. Fortunately, I didn't come from a poor background. I constantly tell people I've never been to the farm before. I've never been to... So, whatever it is, even if we stay off, we will survive. But we're talking about the future. We're talking about tomorrow. Because that's how we started. And then we got, here today. We know how people are suffering. I know how much petrol is. It's 1,200. It's 1,300 in a couple of places. So, it's not about me. It's about the future. And I'm telling people now that, look, we can't have a democracy, that is like this, because the result of the will of the people cannot be subverted. Democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It's our government. It's not the government of Adam Saliu or Shomole. It's not the government of Godwin Obaseki. It's not the government of Ashwe Godalo. Ashwe Godalo or Saradi Ogwe are representatives of the collective will of the Edo people. And the Edo people had spoken in very clear, lucid, and pellucid term that this is, bros, no vex, bros, I'm on life. This is, they have demonstrated that the collective will of the people is resident in the candidature of Ashwe Godalo and Osoro Odeoge. And it doesn't care it doesn't matter what you think about it. It is democracy. In a democracy, the people must have their say, and the people have had, their say. And before we know what happened, soldiers, security people who should protect life and property swarmed into the collation centers, packed the properties of political parties, including, and told us to come and report at Inec collation center, where collation centers happen at each of the local government. And that would have been an issue. We got to the Inec, Inec office, the headquarters in Edo State, in Aduawa, and our people were shut out. The agents of APC were allowed in. I just watched a live video of DG Matthew Idoekewe, where he was complaining. It's a contestation. How do you allow one set of people, to come in and the other set of people, to come in? So what you can do for us is to share this video and ensure that it gets to the presidency. Ensure that it gets outside the shores of this country. Because I have often maintained that the reason why government, especially wicked government, succeeds to do the things that they do is because it is under the cover of secrecy. But as long as we can keep shouting, as long as we can keep talking, as long as we can keep, whatever you like to call it, whatever you like to call it, as long as we can keep talking, Patrick Henry says that our freedoms as a people cannot be guaranteed unless and until the actions and inactions of those in government are shrouded in secrecy. I've had people who are suffering. I've had people who cannot survive. I was at the campaign ground yesterday, and in spite of how much money people were giving to vote, there are people who were still begging me for money. So there are people who I am much better than, who subscribe to this, conundrum, who subscribe to this terrible situation, that we have found ourselves. Indeed, we are appearing like a conquered people. All right. I am happy that there are a few APC people who still have a conscience, who are calling us behind the corner to say, we know you guys won the election. They are the ones who are even urging us on because they want to preserve democracy. Gadam Saliu Oshomole was governor of this state for 8 years. He can't do more than 8 years. Governor Obaseki is being governor now. In another 2 months or less, he would have left office. All right. And somebody else will continue from whatever, from all the things that Governor Obaseki has been able to do. What is important for me is the fact that the will of the people prevails, because it looks like we have accepted brigandry, we have accepted chicanery, we have accepted, hooliganism as part of our democratic system. It doesn't matter how, you kill the animal, just ensure the animal is killed. And this thing began when Inec in the first instance nearly about 1.5 years ago. So announce it, let them go to court. That's not how an umpire does. An umpire has the opportunity to review and review and review. And if we didn't want to use technology, if we didn't use technology ab initio, and they were definitely the result ab initio, that would have been fine. But we're talking about the fact that we had been using technology, and that technology was accessible. It's accessible to everybody, including the international community, including media. Everybody has the result that INEC uploaded on the IREV. Because a few hours ago, I saw a couple of APC people who sat down, despondent. As far as they were concerned, they had lost this, election until what fella calls, government magic, what fella calls, magic, began to show up, and then move the collation to INEC office. I've never heard the situation where you move all the collations to INEC central office, where the collations take place at the different local government. Now I've moved it to INEC office, and it looks like the security agencies have shut us out of the process, admitted APC agents and their results, and then now we are hearing that announced results that have been put on IREV portal. Those results are now being doctored, and a different result entirely is being announced. For me, it's protection for democracy. All roads this morning lead to INEC office. All roads lead to INEC office. All roads lead to Ramat Park. Because if a man has not found a reason to die, then he has no reason to live. For me, it's our future, it's our tomorrow. If you win me fair and square, I will admit. But you can't strengthen the weak. You can't strengthen the strong you can't strengthen the weak by weakening the strong. You don't become stronger by weakening me. If you want a fair contestation, look at me eyeball in the eyeball, and then let us have a contestation man to man. If you win me man to man, fine. But if you now poison my food and you want me to be weaker so that you can win me, you are a coward. And I've constantly said that these guys are cowards. There's nothing they didn't use. They depended on court cases thinking that our candidate would be disqualified. Our candidate was not disqualified. They tried to use traditional institutions and thinking that it was going to work. That did not work. They tried intimidation, arresting all our people, took them to Abuja in the wee hours of night. That did not work. On the day of election, there was heavy inducement, new currency. That did not work. So they've tried everything and nothing has worked, because you can't stop a people who are collective in their decision in the direction that they want to go as a people. And the beauty of social media is that we will take records. There were people years ago that were telling us that on Tinubu's mandate we stand. Those people now are no longer standing on Tinubu's mandate. We're all here. We're all suffering Tinubu's government together. Are we not all suffering, Tinubu's government, together? And some are suffering it more than some people. We're all in Nigeria together, and we're all suffering, together. This cannot stand. I've listened to our candidate, and we've decided as a political party that we're going to gather everybody who voted for us. Our Sunday services this morning is going to hold in front of the Inec office as far as we can get. No matter, the barricade, our voices must be heard. Our stories must be told. We have commandeered the media from different places, because democracy is a government of the people, by the people, and for the people. It's not a democracy of one individual. It's a couple of individuals. Nobody is more Edo than the other person, and nobody is more Nigerian than the other person. Nobody is superior to the other person. The will of the people must prevail, and the will and the people are demonstrated very clearly that their desire to have Dr. Asuegodan and Sarade Oge lead Edo State in the next 4 years is sacrosanct. Like Dino Melai said, I quoted it yesterday. If you talk, you die. If you don't talk, you do not die. And I like when I see people who gloat and say, and who are laughing. It's all right. Many of the people who are laughing, sometimes I go to their profile and I look at them and say, I'm better than this guy now. So that this guy think that I'm saying this now because it's my political party. I see people who, apparently are trekking, who the life is also heavy on their shoulder, but for pittance, for survival in the next, several. Yeah, it amazed me to hear people excited over 10,000. I don't even think that 10,000 can cook, a pot of soup under the circumstances. But there are people who are excited, but and I told myself that Nigeria as a nation has a long way to go. All roads this morning lead to the INEC, office, and will occupy INEC office, invite international media, invite everybody, so that this will of the people, the decision of the people going forward for the next 4 years must stand. If the people collectively decided to take a decision that this is who leads us, it is the decision of the people, and the decision of the people must constantly stand. So I want to thank you for keeping faith with us. Let me thank all of you who have mounted guard on social media, who have mounted guard for the international community, who have consistently shared our posts, who are waiting for, updates. It's a long walk to freedom. It is not yet Uhuru. 8 years ago, thereabout, I did exactly the same thing for Osageze Yamu, because at that time we were convinced that he won, that election, and we were on the street to defend, democracy. For me, I don't care about the individual. I care about the process. We don't move from answer to question. We move from question to answer. Democracy is a process. Who governs you is a process. The people first of all go and vote in their individual units. Those unit results become the authentic results. Unfortunately, the unit result is the one that was uploaded by INEC itself. So there are no voting that take place at the collation center. It is rightly called collation center. What you do at collation center is that you bring the result from the unit to the collation centers. The collation centers are an aggregate of the result that were obtained at the unit level. So what it means is that if you have already uploaded almost all the results to about 97%, what it means that anybody who is monitoring the INEC can easily calculate and just know who is the winner of this election by what INEC themselves, by what INEC themselves posted on their IREV, portal. So those who are gloating, I wish you all the best. Please keep gloating, keep mocking, please keep laughing. It's okay. Nigeria belongs to all of us. We are here together. We were here together when petrol was 87 naira. We were here together when petrol was 97 naira. We were here together when petrol moved to 150 naira. We are here together. Petrol moved to 250. We are here together. We are going to be here together. If it's good for everybody. There is no road that anybody will build that is PDP road. There is no road that anybody will build that is APC road. There is no PDP police. There is no APC police. There is no PDP army. There is no APC army. It is the story of the axe head, of the wood that had the axe head. And as they were using the axe head to fell trees in the forest, the trees were excited because they saw that the axe head had a wooden handle, and they thought that the wood belonged to them, not knowing that at the edge of the wood there was a metal that were using to fell the trees. And before they knew what was happening, the trees that were clapping to say, oh, this wood, unknown to them, had an axe head is one of them. Until all the trees in the forest fell down, they thought that they were safe. It's like the story of the man that rode on the back of the tiger, and they were pointing to individuals to eat this one, eat that one, eat that one. After the tiger ate everybody, what happened? The tiger began to perceive that the flesh of the man that is on his back smells like the flesh of the people he had. It smelled like the flesh of the people that he had eaten, and he turned back and ate the man that was, giving him directions, so far. We have APC, we ruin this country. I've constantly said it. This is not because I'm a member of the People's Democratic Party. APC will ruin this country. They are already ruining our economy. They are already, turning things upside down. Companies are leaving Nigeria. And if they enter into our democracy, we will have a one-party nation. And then where do we go from there? So again, let me thank you. What you can do for us is to share this link and invite people that our church services today will take place in front of Inec office this morning, because the power in the people is much more than the people who are in power. We didn't get here by mistake. All the noise that we have been making, like they like to call it noise, is what has gotten us here. That's why yesterday there was no gunshots, because we had precipitated this thing to a feverish height, and we need to continue to do that. We need to put our legs on the pedal, put our legs on their neck, because as long as we keep talking, as long as we keep shouting, as long as we keep proclaiming, we would gradually get it. Let me salute the courage of Dr. Aswa Godalo, who took it upon himself to go to Inec office himself. Let me salute the courage of our DG, Matthew Drake, and all people who have stood guard so far in Inec office. By this morning, you can be sure that we'll be there to support you. And if they want to kill everybody because we took a decision in the direction that we want to go, so be it. Until a man finds something to die for, that man is not fit to live. This is Reverend Olu Martins giving you update on what is going on. The plan is to subvert result. They're already announcing result completely different from what is on the IREF portal. Edo South was a clean sweep, 7/7. We are hearing just now that a go. Now is all of a sudden APC. Different from what was announced on the what was posted on the IREV portal. Is our struggle. It's our struggle for a better tomorrow. It's our struggle for a better future. It's not about Dr. Aswa Godalo. It's not about Gordon Obaseki. Hate Gordon Obaseki as much as you want to. Love your candidate as much as you want to. It's the preservation of sanctity and the promotion of democratic values for a greater tomorrow. We need to protect our democracy, and we need to do whatever you can. Keep sharing, keep posting, keep doing whatever you can do. Keep talking. Don't stop talking. Let them call it lamentation. Let them laugh at you. That's fine. That's fine. They can do whatever it is. I've heard people say, oh, congratulate. Oh, that's fine. We have a right to express ourselves if we are dissatisfied, with a process. And we have seen how revolution started in several countries. Nigeria is fragile as it stands today, and instead of us to maintain that fragility and grow our democracy, some people say, you know what, they must get power at all costs. no matter whose ox is God. We wish them in the best, but they cannot stop us from protesting. They cannot stop us from protecting our rights. They cannot stop us from speaking out. They cannot stop us, from shouting at the top of our voices, because we owe that duty to ourselves. It was Edmund Burke that says that all that evil needs to triumph, for good men to be quiet in the periods of violence and moral decadence. Every onlooker in the face of democratic tyranny, in the face of turning things upside down, is either a traitor or a coward. And trust me, I am neither of them. Thank you for staying tuned. We'll constantly give you updates as the things develop. Your own is to help us share it and let it go wide, massive, and let's keep talking. It's a long walk to freedom, and like we say, freedom comes little by little. As long as we're not deterred, as long as we don't lose hope, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Thank you very much. Please enjoy the rest of it and stay tuned to this channel. Like I said, all roads lead to Inec office in Adwawa, because that's where the showdown is. God bless you.